Hi, my people. Welcome back to the pod. How are we doing? How are we feeling? We're closing out January. Thank God. I don't know about you guys, but January always feels like war. Like I am constantly at war with myself. Because it's the dichotomy of feelings that come in with like, oh my God, thank God, new energy, fresh start, all those things. I love a new beginning. Love a new beginning. But also, a new beginning brings up fear, anticipation, self criticism, all the things. All of the fucking things. I swear to God, every January, I feel every single emotion one could possibly ever feel, you know? And it can be a lot. It can be a lot. And I think at this point of the year, by me saying at this point of the year, we're a month in, mind you, not even a full month. But at this point, I'm just tired. If I'm being so real, like, I just, I'm yearning for some rest, okay? Like, a girl just needs some sleep and a clear head. Like, I just want to go to bed and get nice sleep and make nice things. So, that's where I'm at right now. If you resonate with that, then hey, I'm Lizzie. Welcome back or welcome to the pod. We have fun here, all right? We have some, I was going to say lighthearted conversations. I would say we talk about deep things in a lighthearted way. Sometimes deep, sometimes philosophical, most of the time just yap for a lack of better words. But yeah, we have fun here. So I'm not going to reflect too much on the past year or the new year energy or whatever. Obviously, that's a big theme of January. I mean, as this is published, it'll be February by then. But yeah, I don't know. January is just holy fuck. Like every single time I get a snap memory from January, I am having the worst time of my life. Like I am constantly battling myself, which is another like, can I just say, do we really want our snap memories? Like everyone's going insane right now that Snapchat's doing this weird thing where you have to pay for your memories or get Snapchat Plus or whatever in order to recover them. To be honest, I don't really give a fuck if they go away. I'm kind of the only person I know that's okay with them just vanishing from the face of the earth, you know? The only thing I'm concerned about is like, okay, but where are they going? Like, are y'all just putting it in a database and keeping it forever? Because that feels like blackmail energy, and I don't really love that, you know? But they probably already have it. So, anyways, I'm just yapping. See, like I told y'all. I told y'all. But mind you, by the end of this episode, I'll have like 30 philosophical thoughts that have never occurred to me before. So buckle in, buckle in. How are we doing? I honestly just got the impulse to sit on the mic today because I've recently become aware to how much I base my identity and I attach my identity to the creation process and to who I am as a creator. When you're someone who is actively working through all of the challenges and tribulations that come with creating and putting yourself out there and letting your art be consumed by other people and critiqued by other people and just all of those things. Obviously, it brings up a lot of things for you to work through and it constantly illuminates parts for you to continuously dive into, continuously, revise and revisit and all the things. But I think once we get so used to that becoming a part of our lives, it's like starts to sneak into every single fucking thought that goes through our head. And honestly, I love that. Like, it gives me a lot of purpose in life. Like, having a passion is a really beautiful thing that can make you feel really on top of the world at times, but it also can feel so consuming at times and overwhelming. And the reason for that sometimes is because we're basing our identity on the creation process. Like, if I'm being so fucking real, when I'm at my worst mental state possible, the only thing that's getting me out of bed is the fact that I have a fire burning under my ass to create something that has not been created before, you know? And that's really cool. It's really awesome. And I could go on a rampage on how fucking amazing that is. But also, I think it's really important to illuminate the really hard parts of that. And, the imposter syndrome that comes up with it, the criticism that we impose on ourselves all of the things that come up in the process, I feel like are just so important to expose while they're happening. So that's a big part of what I do in this podcast. Y'all see every single side of me while I'm becoming, while I'm transforming, while I'm building the foundation, the building blocks, all of that stuff into who I'm ultimately becoming, what this podcast is turning into, like I'm about to change my podcast name soon, which little exclusive insight if you listen to this podcast, no one else knows that yet, but yeah, like things are happening. The pot is fucking stirring, okay? And right now I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck ingredients I lost. I'm trying to figure out like does it need more salt? Does it need more pepper? Like what's the vibe here, I know what I want to make. I know I want to make chili, but I don't know what the fuck going chili. So I'm just figuring it out, which kind of brings me into like a point of topic here. This is kind of irrelevant, but very, I don't know, critical to how I'm feeling right now. Okay, so obviously the new year brings up this pressure of like, I gotta unpack my entire life. I gotta fucking make new goals for myself. I'm changing my day to day, right? Like a lot of us are trying to create new habits for ourselves that we want to stick and eventually become routine. But by doing that, you sort of have to make that your routine, right? Like it doesn't feel like your routine yet. It just feels like a new habit that you're trying to build. So it's really fucking hard. But that also is what makes us keep showing up sometimes because then you feel so good after you do it because you're showing up. But then eventually you get to this point where you're like, holy fuck, I'm tired. Holy shit, I have to put my health first. I gotta fucking drink water. I want to start wearing cute outfits every day. So now I gotta wake up earlier and all this shit. Like, if you're anything like me, I got big goals for myself. I want to be the best version of myself every single fucking day, but the best version of myself requires a lot of fucking effort, okay? On every single level of my life. Like, there is not a single second in my day where my brain goes blank. Psychologically, obviously, that's the same for all of us. Like, our brains are always working, even when we're sleeping, obviously. Obviously. I'm at this point right now where everything on all levels for me is new again. Like, I'm a college student, so I have a completely new class schedule. I work at a coffee shop, completely new hours for that because they have to work around my class schedule. I'm a yoga instructor, so I have new classes for that as well because they have to work around my other two schedules. Like, everything is fucking new. The only thing consistent in my life right now is the fact that I'm living in the same place that I lived in all of last year. So, and like my friends and shit like that. But besides all of the boring, mundane things I'm saying right now, with the new year, I want to reinvent myself and not reinvent myself, but like, I just want to feel good. If I'm being so honest, I want to feel good. I want to prioritize my health because that's honestly the most important thing in my life to me is my health. And, I was walking on the treadmill yesterday and I was having these thoughts of like, I keep trying to fit exercise and things like that into my schedule. So, like, I'll look at my class schedule and I'll be like, okay, where can I fucking work out today? And then some days I end up not working out at all because there's just too many options, or, I'll fill the little gaps in my schedule with other things because everything's still new. So I'm just trying to fucking do everything all at once, okay? And then I just had this epiphany, if you will, where I was like, no, everything in my life should be working around my health right now. If health is so important to me and enough so to the point where when I'm not prioritizing my health, obviously every single thing in my life tanks. Like mental health tanks, fucking everything, how I view myself, my appearance, all those things. Like everything just tanks when I'm not taking care of myself. But, if it's still that important to me, which by the way, the things that you care and you're passionate about and that you view as something that you should be prioritizing, that nagging feeling is never going to go away unless you're fucking doing it. And like, even so, when you're doing it, it's going to nag at you to keep doing it, but in a way where it eventually becomes routine and it eventually becomes something that you love doing, that you look forward to doing, you know? But obviously, starting is the hardest part and all those things. And I was kind of a lazy fuck in 2025. So working out feels kind of brand new to me again, in a way. Not really here and there, but I don't really count yoga as working out because to me it's such like a sacred practice of mine that like I go there to work in, not to work out. Okay, okay. Y'all get a little bit of the yogi side of me today. But what was I saying? Wow, it's taking me like 10 minutes to make a single point today. But my point being, if you have this urge to prioritize something and you're not prioritizing it, you're always going to feel like you're self abandoning. You're always going to feel like you're running away from yourself. You're never going to feel good in what you're doing in other avenues because ultimately you want to be prioritizing the one thing you're not. So, when I had this epiphany of if my health is that fucking important to me, I need to stop working it around the other things in my life and start working everything else in my life around my health. So now I really just want to take charge of like, okay, if the one fucking thing that I'm truly, truly prioritizing without fail and without any sort of excuses is prioritizing 30 minutes of exercise a day or, eating balanced meals at least 3 times a day or something like that. I'm not trying to impose any fucking health things. This is just my life, whatever. But if that's so fucking important to me and I know how much it affects all the other areas in my life, then that needs to be my main priority. I need to stop basing when I'm going to work out around, oh, but I have class, oh, but I have this. No, girl, then wake up fucking early if you care that much about it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Sometimes we just make it more complicated for ourselves. Besides the point, I didn't mean to get that deep into that, but I don't know, it just kind of itched my brain when I had that really stupidly simple thought. Which, oh my God, those aha moments where you have that thought that like was probably the easiest conclusion you could have come to, Those moments sometimes like they're so empowering because I'm like, damn, it is that simple. Wow, like it's not that complicated. But then sometimes I'm like, okay, why the fuck am I so dumb? Like, why am I dumb enough to not even fucking realize that that was right in front of my face the whole time, It's just like, I'm not trying to impose any fucking self-judgment there, but holy shit. Like, why are we overlooking the simple things, Life is about the simple things. But what was I saying? I don't know. I'm just, the older I get, the more type B I become. Like, I'm so type B that I'm type C. So sometimes I actually fucking need routine, to be honest. And that's why January fucking sucks. Because I'm trying to create a new routine for me while I'm also being forced in some ways to completely start from new, which can be so good and so liberating because I know that it's needed in a lot of ways. But it feels so overwhelming. Like my whole fucking world comes crashing down all at once. And all of a sudden it's like, you know, I have to fit in the spontaneous parts of me also in the nooks and crannies of the gaps of my schedule with the routine things I have to do every day and I'm forced to prioritize every day so that I can still be having fun. But then it's like, oh my God, I put all my energy into the things that I have to be showing up for and I give all my energy into those things to do them 100% because that's who I am. That I don't have enough energy to be fucking spontaneous sometimes and do shit that I want to be doing. And then I get depressed. And then seasonal depression hits, and that's my TED Talk today. Goodbye. No, I'm kidding. But, like, I don't know. Can y'all resonate with that? It's rough out here being a type B person with big dreams. It's fucking tough. But I also, in a lot of ways, being so type B is, I know, in a lot of ways, it's my superpower because it's what allows me to do so much all at once. Like I have a million tabs physically, like genuinely on my computer, I have a million tabs open, but also just in my brain, like metaphorically, I have a million tabs open at once and they're all for different things. And it can be so overwhelming, okay? It really can. But also, that's why I'm able to do all the things I can do and whatnot. Anyways, I digress. So, just another little imposter syndrome thing that comes up in the creation process, kind of linked to what I was saying before about how we attach our identity to who we are as creators and what we're setting ourselves out to do. It's funny because, like, we'll attach our identity to our passions, but a lot of us dim down our passions to the point where we are not standing fully with them, you know? Like, we're not making it our whole personality, or at least not all of us are. Like, I have a separate Instagram and stuff for my passion project, which is this podcast that you're listening to right now. But, I'm not talking about it in every single conversation. Am I thinking about it in every conversation? Probably, yeah. To be honest, yeah. But there is a part of me that plays small. There is a part of me that doesn't fully stand in my truth, that doesn't fully encapsulate just how much I fucking care about this thing, you know? So I see the ways in which I'm holding myself back. I see the ways in which I'm, not fully expressing my full self on and off camera, and that's what can eat you alive sometimes with the creation process is like you're always thinking about it, but you're not always embodying it. You're not always standing in your power. You're not always giving yourself all of the credit in the world. You're not seeing how far you've come, how much you're capable of. Like, all those things you have to actively be working to uncover and remind yourself. And that's what becomes so hard is that sometimes it's really hard and it takes a lot of effort from you to constantly be reminding yourself how much you're meant for this and how credible you are as someone who's able to carry this out, and also actively be moving and constantly evolving and leveling up in what you're doing. It's hard to hold both of those energies at the same time. And it gets to a point sometimes where I like kind of subconsciously give up, like in a way, one has to give. It's like I'm either creating or I'm reminding myself how meant for me this creative process is. And sometimes I don't have the fucking energy to do both, okay? And then one of my fucking wheels falls off my wagon, and then all of a sudden the other wheel falls off, and then I'm reaching burnout, and I'm like, well, what now? I still care so deeply about this thing, but I just don't have the confidence to show up as my best self. Oh my God, guys. Even talking about it, like, it's so overwhelming. It's so overwhelming because there's so many things I could say. There's so many feelings that come up. There's so many emotions that we work through and versions of ourselves that we're constantly battling. So, yeah, I don't know. I want to kind of dive a little bit deeper into the whole credibility part of it because I think in a lot of ways we maybe unconsciously kind of abide by this belief that we are not credible enough to be doing what we're doing in the avenues that we're doing them. And I think this can stem from a lot of things, but for me personally, I think one of the things that has probably really affected this mindset of mine is that all of the art that I love, all of the artists and creators that I am inspired by are people who, for the most part, are already successful in what they're doing. Even if they're a smaller creator, like there's a lot of like music artists or YouTubers that are smaller creators on the large scale of things, like they're not celebrities by any means, but in my eyes they're still successful because I know who they are. And that's not even, when I say that, that sounded very egotistical. I did not mean it that way. I just meant it from the sense of like, if I come across an artist, to me it's like, okay, other people must fucking know this artist too, you know? And for that reason, it's like I automatically attribute some level of success to people that I have uncovered, when in reality, like, I'm not giving myself that same credit. Like, I think we forget to realize that our credibility lies in the fact that we were created on this earth. Like, our existence is our credibility to create something outside of ourselves. That's your credibility. The most beautiful thing about existing is the fact that all of us leave at least a footprint on the world before we leave, you know? And what I mean by that is that every single person in this world has created something already that was not created before you got here. Even if it's something that a million people have created before, it wasn't created by you. Like, it could be a fucking finger painting from kindergarten that every kindergartner in the world has done, but it wasn't done by you the way that you did it, you know? And yeah, we forget to realize just how unique and complex our own essence is and how much that can add to the world and amplify the beauty that already exists in the world. And sometimes amplifying the beauty that already exists in the world comes from you uncovering the more ugly parts of creating yourself and creating things outside of yourself, because it's not a linear path. It's not a straight line. There's a lot of hiccups in the road. There's things we're constantly working through. Like, it's a lot, okay? It's a lot. I'm never going to sugarcoat that ever on this podcast. And if you're a listener here, you know that. But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it just comes down to perfectionism where we're so headstrong on this big idea that we have in our brains of what we want this to turn into, what we want our lives to look like, what we want from this thing, that we start to feel so far away from it. So now we reach this problem where we have attached our entire identity, our entire purpose on this earth with the fact that we have this fire burning under our ass to create this thing. We've created an entire identity behind that, whether or not you're putting your art out into the world or not. If what you want to create is something that is a nagging thought in your brain every single day, you in a way are attaching your identity to it, and it becomes a part of not only who you are, but how you think about the world. And because of that, when we are not creating, we're depressed. When we are not creating, we feel unfulfilled by life. We feel like we have no purpose. We feel like we're abandoning ourselves. We feel like we're not doing ourselves justice. We feel like we're never able to capture our full artistic vision, no matter what we do. So then it makes us take a step back from it. Like, so many things come up, like I've said a million times in this episode. And I think that's where this idea of the tortured artist comes in. The more I dive into the creative process, the more I realize that, I mean, maybe I'm just speaking for myself in this, but I feel like every single artist is a tortured artist. Every single person on this planet is a tortured person. We all go through hardships that we have to work through consciously, unconsciously, physically, mentally, every single day. There's some kind of challenge that we have to get through, right? And that's what makes life so fucking daunting sometimes. But also, when your creative pursuit is the only thing getting you out of bed, it becomes your whole identity, and you have no choice but to fucking create, dude. Like, there is no other way. That's what you have to realize sometimes, whether you have put your art out there to be criticized by the world or not. There is no other option. If you want to live a life that you look back on and are proud of, feel fulfilled by, and feel like you got the most out of, in order to do that, you have to do the things that make your skin crawl. You have to do the things that make your heart fucking race. You have to do the things that put you so far outside of your comfort zone that you don't even recognize yourself while you're doing them sometimes. You have to be more concerned with how honest you're being and how true to yourself you're being when you're creating, rather than how credible you are enough to say something or do something the way you're doing it. Because, okay, this random thought just came up in my head, but stick with me here. I have this recipe on my desk right next to me. If you're watching the video version on YouTube, which shout out, you should be, because I've been uploading the video versions and they're really fun. Side note, I don't know. But I'm holding up this little recipe card that I got in Italy. And it's funny because the second my brain saw that while I was talking about credibility, what I thought about was the fact that if any native Italian handed me a recipe while I was in Italy, I would automatically assume that that is going to be the best recipe I've ever come across. Like, automatically, I know that's going to be a bomb ass fucking recipe because I know Italians got good food, you know? And it's funny because what if we just like started thinking about our creative pursuits that way? Like, you know how I said when I find these undercover artists or whatever, I already view them as successful because I found them. Like, you have to start realizing that other people might be thinking the same way about your creative pursuits. They might be looking at you posting a YouTube video, even if it has 3 fucking views. If they're one of the people that viewed it, they're looking at it and being like, damn, like, why doesn't this have more views? Like, this is good as fuck. Like, you never know what people are fucking thinking. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole of like thinking about the audience too much because holy shit, that's a whole nother conversation. But we have to, as the fucking tortured artist, what breaks that cycle is you realizing that it's gonna fucking suck either way. Like, you can choose your suffering here. You choose your hard. Your suffering can be from not creating and from letting all of those passions die inside of you to the point where other people are going to take that idea from you and they're going to do it themselves. Because you've probably heard a million times by now, if you don't act on your creative impulses, someone else will. Because that creative idea is trying to be born right now. It's asking to be born in the time that it came to you. And if you don't act on that creative impulse, someone else will. Okay. But it came to you. I don't want that to sound discouraging because when I first heard that, I was like, well, damn, that sounds fucking discouraging as hell because now I have this devil on my shoulder being like, you have to act now, pressure, like immediately, you gotta go, go, go. Because I feel like it's gonna be passed on to the next person immediately. But you also don't want to be operating from this place of pressure where you're just doing it to do it, you know? Like, how many times have you had a creative idea and haven't acted on it when it was the time to act on it and you just let it pass and then you look back on it and you're like, damn, I really should have done that shit when I had that idea because now it's too fucking late. Now, like, no one really cares about that thing anymore, or like, it's not a part of the conversation anymore. It's not relevant to the day and age that we're in right now. Whatever it might be, it's like, you know, it comes to you at the time it does for a reason. And that doesn't mean that you can't take your time with it, but you have to respect your own creative visions enough to at least act upon them. Because if you have a creative vision and you automatically go, that's a good idea, but don't write it down, but you don't think about it anymore, you don't give it any food for thought, you don't connect it to other ideas, you don't even try. You know for a fact in the back of your brain that that creative idea is going to leave and it's not going to come back most likely. Like, as much as you tell yourself, oh yeah, I'll get to that, like that'll come, whatever. You know you're not going to go back to that because life gets busy and you have a million other creative ideas coming at you. So you have to respect your own creative impulses by acting on them. The only fucking way, genuinely, guys, the only way to quote unquote cure anxiety or this feeling of overwhelm, whatever you want to categorize it as, is by moving. Action is the only medicine. Genuinely. I mean, if you think about it, it's like the times where you're the most depressed, you're probably also not moving as much. Like, that's why seasonal depression is a thing. I mean, for a lot of reasons. Like, the sun is literally farther away from the earth. And all of the reasons, serotonin, dopamine hits, all that fucking shit that I could talk about forever. Like, times in your life where you feel the lowest are most likely when you're moving the least amount, you know? I mean, correlation does not equal causation, but like, Miss Girl, all it takes is connecting a few dots sometimes, you know? Like, get out of bed. You gotta get out of bed. I don't know if I'm just calling myself out right now. I don't know if this feels like a personal attack to you guys. I don't really know what the vibe is of this episode. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I just think that a big drawing factor that I want you guys to understand from this conversation today is that if you don't prioritize the things that nag at you every single day, whether it be moving your body, whether it be eating healthy, starting that brand that you've always wanted to create, all those things. If you don't take that first stride, if you don't start doing that, if you don't start making it a priority, then the feeling of you giving up on yourself before even trying is the deepest pain that you can ever choose to put yourself through. And that's what sucks about it, is that you're choosing to put yourself through that suffering. That's what's so liberating sometimes about the creative process when it gets really hard, is that you know that you chose that hard. You know that you chose to push yourself. Like, when in doubt, you can always fall back on the fact that it's hard right now and you anticipated it to be hard. You knew it was going to get hard. But the fact that you continuously show up again and again is what's building that callus that's ultimately strengthening your ability to keep showing up better and better and more confident in those spaces. Those nagging thoughts that you have are not just going to go away, because they're not just nagging thoughts, they're passion. Okay. And we need to be prioritizing what we're passionate about if we want to be happy in life. Doesn't mean it's not going to be hard. Doesn't mean it's not going to be hard. But that's not what we signed up for. You know, we weren't born on this earth to have the easiest life possible. No matter how privileged we are in certain areas of our lives, certain challenge arises in other areas, okay? And you gotta fucking roll with the punches. And you are rolling with the punches, and I'm proud of you for doing that and for coming as far as you have already. And sometimes we fail to see that, so I just wanted to say that. But I was gonna say open your eyes to it, but I don't know, I feel like this collective, like, our eyes are open, okay? And that's what makes it so hard sometimes, is the fact that we have such great awareness of the world around us and of ourselves that, it becomes so consuming sometimes, because we see the areas in which we're not showing up fully. We fully see the ways in which we are dimming our light and shrinking ourselves. And that's why it's so painful, because we are the only thing standing in our way. Genuinely. Anyways, I feel like I went down so many routes today. Like, I became a fucking motivational speaker at the end just now. I don't know. I started off talking about nothing. I don't know. We're having fun here, okay? We're having fun. But if you enjoyed that episode, I would really, really appreciate if you leave a comment, a review, a rating, whatever the fuck you have time for today, genuinely. It really means the world to me, and it goes a long way. It helps the show grow. Like, I really believe in good karma as well as bad karma. And every single time that you're helping someone else reach their dreams, that energy is gonna come back to you tenfold. I truly believe that. If you have good intentions in life and everything you do reflects that, it'll come back to you. So, yeah, use my page as an opportunity to build that good karma, girl. And as always, if you ever want to have more personal conversations with me, more one-on-one talks, I love to yap, as you know. So feel free to go check out my Instagram, my TikTok in the show notes below. And yeah, shoot me a DM whenever, about whatever. I'm here for y'all. We're going through this together, and I'm just excited for the direction that this podcast is going. And I promise you guys, I will always promise you to show up the most authentically I possibly can showcase in the moment. So that's one thing you're always going to get from me. And yeah, to me, that is my credibility, is my authenticity. And I think that that could be everyone's. So I don't know, challenge that a little bit, dive into that a little bit deeper. And yeah, sending all the love your way. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, rest of your week, whatever it might be. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Mwah, kisses.